first of all, this is the Emancipation Village. What we're having here at this specific time is it's really an Emancipation Festival. It's a fusion of culture and sports. So you can actually say it's a marriage between a cultural sports and the arts that we're having here, but it's also a tribute to our ancestors, the work that they have done in order for us to be where we are today as a people. Since the invasion of these lands by Christopher Columbus, blacks have been held in captivity, and some of the most atrocious crimes have been inflicted on them. But most of all, we worked through that long period without any pain. We were describing the most animalistic, or we were not even at the status of animals. And when I say that, the animals had more rights than us who were human beings. We were considered not to be human. People have been battered in the way that they were battered then, and the people from which we all sprung ought to be able to empathize and understand what it is that our people went through. And we're very we have to empathize with the cruelty that they had to endure, which they experienced. I feel that it's only right. Say we were celebrating a birthday of your sister, your brother, you celebrate. Some people even celebrate the so-called discovery of Christopher Columbus. So there's nothing alien about black people celebrating their contribution to black civilization and about the endurance they had to demonstrate and the resilience which we had to put up in order to still be part and parcel of the civilized world. And this is about giving back. This is about paying tribute to the family. We wanted to start this event on the 25th of this month, which is African Liberation Day. But the father spoke, and due to the inclemency of the weather, we had to defer to this date. But we are very conscious of the date we intended to start this festival. We're now going on the 31st of the month, with obviously memories of what African Liberation Day stands for. We are also conscious that we are right within the presence of the Honorable Bussa. There we have Bussa statue, General Bussa, 1816 revolt, and to the west of Bussa we have a nice piece of architecture.
Tell us about that.
That is the house of Prescod, Randy Prescod. Randy Prescod was a teacher at the Parkinson School. He was also a teacher at Randy Prescod School, which were named after him. But before that, it was the Pine Primary School. He was also senior officer in the Ministry of Education. But he drew that flag on a desk at Parkinson School. That is our national flag. And one of the things that should come out of our experience here today is there's a need to recognize the great men and women who made a contribution to Barbados. So that house should never remain invisible in the sight of our people, especially the black people of Barbados. And I thought, in fact, I still believe that there can be a site more significant to this festival than this specific area. that building over to the left, that was probably most, not just, you can see the aesthetics of the building. That building was constructed and owned by a black man called Nestled. It was one of the biggest supermarkets in Barbados, and certainly one of the most modernized and appealing supermarkets.
Yes.
So it's a healthy environment. There are other businesses here, but I state those because those are very much related to symbols and signals of the evolution of the general development of our people.
Yes.
So when they come here, I want people not just to see it as a place where we get a wine and dine and eat nice food, and certainly that is going to be part of the package, because we're going to have all different types of food here, all different types of Caribbean food, not only Barbadian food, but we're going to have Jamaican foods, we're going to have Trinidadian food, we have Vincentian food, and all the people from the Caribbean will be well represented here. We are hoping that we'll launch it, not we're hoping, but we're definitely going to launch it on the 31st, down to the northern side of where we are. And we're going to have not only a Colombo pot of talent, we're going to have a treasure.
Yes.
We're going to have a treasure of Barbadian indigenous talent. And we're going to try to keep that going through the entire festival. It will start on Friday, but we will go as far as I think the 17th of August, and that will occur every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We try to keep the sports and DJs on Sundays, and during the week we'll have some of the best artists singing all different types of genres. But what we do is place a lot of emphasis on spooch, zouk, reggae, calypso, rhythm and blues. We're gonna have jazz. We have a wide cross section, and hopefully out of that kind of environment, I will hope that the artists, the musicians, the DJs and so on will experiment, and hopefully something will mushroom out of the combination, the amalgam of all the different types of Caribbean music, and we'll have something fresh. I'm hoping that we'll also be able to modify and help to sustain while perpetuating the rhythms of the spoon beat. But I think that spoon had a lot of potential during the time of Jackie Opel and the Draytons and others, but it fell flat, and I think that we're seeing the potential of it. Obviously, it would not be at the same level that it was in Jackie Opel's time, but many Barbadians don't know who Jackie Opel is. Many Barbadians don't know who the Draytons, who the Escort. And there was a time when these entertainers lived off of the industry. There was a time when Barbados had a massive company in St. Thomas called West Indies Records. And that company used to produce for Sparrow, used to produce for Kitchener, used to produce for Shadow. Artists from Antigua, Grenada, and they had outlets. They had outlets in the United States. This trade company in the United States had outlets in Canada because the American was dominating the scene in Canada that specific time. So it's a rebirth as well. So it's not just a tribute, it's a rebirth to the Barbadian music, it's a rebirth to the opportunity for entertainers to be able to expand their market beyond the sovereignty of Barbados into the international market.
I just want to ask you about the integration of culture in Barbados. As it relates to the region, you talk about wanting to see an expression of emancipation. But what does the integration of emancipation and the Caribbean and the history of Barbados has to be this village?
But music also integrates us. Sometimes elements of integration may not be sanctioned at the highest level. Out of this, we hope that we will see that. And we will have educational programs here that will help us to have discussions among entertainers to share that information with us. Other organizations will come here, Rastafari will come here, and we have a special education unit here.
Right.
I'm hoping that my brother Omar Wells will be at the center of the coordination of this unit, because it has to be a little different to what we give. Barbados needs festival. Barbados needs festival. And this is going to be one that is not going to be one playing any secondary role to any festival anywhere in the region. This has to be the best emancipation festival anything. But when it comes to even that, talking about the fusion or the marriage of Caribbean culture, even that is a significant debate, because some people talk about culture in relation to the realization of culture. Some people speak to culture on the basis of the pluralism of culture. In other words, there are cultures in Barbados, there are cultures of different kinds, but realizing that the culture means that the cultures have actually merged and they're one. So Caribbean culture is unique in itself. It has no specific feature in Europe, Asia, or Africa. That is what they call the realization of culture. But then there is the pluralizing of the culture. It's a cultural pluralism. The cultural pluralism is there are distinctive cultures all within one country. So Asia has its culture, Africa has its culture, Europe has its culture. But that theory sounds good. But the reality where Europe dominates the culture, the standards of greatness derive from Europe itself. So like for Mr. Carvalho, we have always argued this standardized views from Europe determine what is good dance. So if you can't do the things that people who are refined are doing, then what you're doing is not dance. For some people in the society, I'm not of that view, but I just tell you the views that are going on. So if you do African dance, even black people like to dismiss it. If you can do ballet well, and stop and stretch your hands out and tuck your boxy well and spin, then you're a great dancer. Now, what we're hoping to come out of all of this, as we have festivals and expose people to what we do and how we do things, we're hoping that we'll be able to become very dismissive of the view that all people cannot do anything that is great. Here we are in the midst of World Cup. We have one of the greatest cricketers all right now. He's still alive. He's a national hero. We have Sir Gary Sober's cricket. Cricket was not always our game. Cricket, we used to run around. We used to run around all the playing fields and pick up the ball and back the ball on for the pass. It's just how they have us now in terms of golf. Black people run all about for the pass and pick up the ball, but they're not allowed to play golf at a certain standard. It is only when the non-black people embrace us as a social equal, whether it's real or theatrical, that you see a few black people playing golf on the West Coast. But we don't have any golf courses developed by the government itself. So I hope that.
Spinning back to this event, in terms of focus, I want you to tell people how to get here, how to define
I believe that every Barbadian knows the statue of General Bustle. And if you come to the But to the west, there's the western side of General Buss's statue, especially if you're going towards St. Thomas. If you come from CBC, which is another important landmark, and you come towards General Bussa, the west of General Bussa, between General Bussa and Walmart Pharmacy, or I think it's Haggatt Hall and Cape Shepherd, the area of land that is sandwiched between those two areas, Skyball, and then that area land constitute the entry point into the village. And the village travels along that area, probably is about a little over half mile, and then it extends itself right down to the north. In that area is really the village. But I want people to come and see it and feel it.
Yes, experience it.
And even if you're not satisfied with it, you can tell me if you want a swimming pool. You can tell me if you want a golf course, right? Because this is supposed to be people's festival, and this is the Emancipation Village. It's the people's village. So I just come and help us to be the greatest. I believe that we are already, but help us to be even greater than we are at present. And I will hope that people, the entertainers and the people who visit, all the culinary artists, people selling various items, artifacts will be featured in the educational unit. There'll be artifacts, there'll be different forms of art, there'll be a lot of documentaries and so on around the area. There'll be a lot of documentaries being featured as well. And there'll be educational programs, a source of what we call grounding. So when you come here, different groups, Spiritual Baptist, Rastafarian, all different groups will come here and have discussions on how we can move the country forward. So we're not going to be a shadow government, but this is the freedom of the people to speak to each other in this specific thing.
So
to help us
there you have it, guys, and His Excellency Ambassador Professor Leslie. There you have it, Trevor Prescod, the Honorable Trevor Prescod, Special Envoy in the Minister's Office for Reparations here in Barbados, and we are waiting for you to come here and experience Emancipation Village.